Hello, hello, hello. Today is February 17th, 2022. We are a bit late with Norm Winski's report. He had major league internet issues, but they're all resolved. I can hardly wait what he has to say. Norm, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Jeff. I thought we review what I said back on when I was last on Thursday, January 27, just ahead of a weekend and several important planetary events. Based on planetary cycles, we look at different markets. If you see AC on a date here, that's for after the close. Most of the planetary events are occurring overnight because the planets don't go home at 5 o'clock. They're 24/7, and the markets are the day session only represents about a quarter of a day. So just random distribution says that this most of the stuff will be overnight. So okay, so we got 28th AC. That's after the close of the 28th. That was a weekend. You had Venus. And if you want to know about any of these technical terms, rather than my explaining it on the show here, I'm going to have you call me, and I can send you these notes. And if you want, you can get a free class on Skype. I'll go through each of these terms with you and get more detail. You'll get more detail. So we have Venus and Capricorn turn direct, and that's Venus markets are cattle, copper, cotton, sugar, and wheat. And then Capricorn is coffee. So we'll be looking at those markets for the over the 28th. We'll be looking for the markets to be at some extreme, either up or down, but not sideways. We don't like sideways. And then Jupiter on that weekend also was making an angle to the U.S. natal chart, which is we take a snapshot of the planets when the USA was formed on July the 4th, 1776, and that's U.S. stocks, T-bonds, dollar. And then we had the night of the Monday night, the 31st. We had a new moon in the sign of Aquarius. Anytime we have a new moon, full moon, round up the usual suspects, financials, grains, precious metals, and because it was an Aquarius, we'll be looking at copper. And then the night of the 3rd, we looked at these overnight ones, AC ones. You're looking to do the trade on the next morning's opening or near the opening. There we have Mercury in Capricorn turning direct. Mercury is the grains plus because it was in Capricorn. That's coffee. And then Saturn to the U.S. chart. That's stocks, U.S. stocks, T-bonds, and dollar. So here's your first market now. Here's the corn market. And we had the Mercury. We had the, what do we have there? The first one was the Venus. And we had the first point there was a short-term low. And then the second point, that was the Mercury point there. That was a very nice low for a big rally on the corn. Then we have the soybeans. They missed there on that point, and then they went sideways. So we got nothing for the beans. But the wheat was excellent. Had the Venus point there on the night of the weekend of the 28th. Then we went down for the moon right there on the overnight into the 1st of February. That was a little short-term bounce there. Then we went down to near the low of the month, and the wheat then had a very nice rally. Here's the cattle kept on stampeding higher on our Venus point, so that's a miss. Red is a miss. Green is you had the potential to make some money. So here's cotton right on the high of the month, and here's coffee went sideways, and then you had a little short-term top there on the night of the 3rd when Mercury turned direct in Capricorn, and then we had sugar on the Venus point there. You made a little short-term top there. And then here's copper. This was excellent. You're buying right there on the low day of the month for copper. And copper is a beast. Every penny is worth $250. So 2 days later, you're looking at about 20 cents, which is $5,000. Here's silver, making a little short-term top there. Here's gold, went sideways for a pass. And here's your S&P, had 2 points there. That was a 2 misses. Then we went up to the next day. We were within a day of the high. Then we went down for a little low there on the 4th, the morning of the 4th. And then the afternoon of the 4th, we had a second point for a high. So you had a chance to make a little bit of money on the S&P. Bonds were not so friendly. They went sideways. Then we had a miss there on the bonds, but the dollar was a little better. Made a high right there near the high of the month. And then you had the miss at the red arrow there. And then we went down, and you would have been buying the dollar near the low of the month. And so if you add up the green arrows and red arrows, you have 15 winners, 6 misses out of 21 for 71 0.43%. Here's what's coming up. We have a huge cluster started yesterday with the full moon near noon, and that was in Leo. And so we'll be rounding up the usual suspects: financials, grains, precious metals, and especially corn, gold, OJ. By the way, I forgot to mention that stocks respond potentially to all these points, so I don't even bother sometimes to mention that, but that's a given, okay? And then tonight, oh, that was last night. I'm sorry, last night, the 16th, we had Mercury at an extreme cycle there, a Mercury cycle, and that's your grains, corn, soybeans, wheat. And then tonight we have Saturn lining up the U.S. chart, U.S. stocks, T-bonds, U.S. dollar, and then we have Jupiter making a 60-degree angle to Uranus. That's a phase of the 41-month business cycle, very important, and that also is cattle, copper, cotton, and oil. And then we have another huge cycle, Mercury at 0 latitude. That's a very big cycle, very one of my top ones. And that's, again, the grains, corn, soybeans, wheat, and also the stocks. And then you have a couple of big points for the U.S. coming up over the weekend. Neptune to the U.S. Neptune, in addition to the U.S. stocks, T-bonds, dollar. That could be something to do with oil because Neptune is oil. And here's maybe the really biggest one of all is that Pluto, a 248-year cycle, will finally get back to where it was on the 4th of July of 1776. To say this is huge would be probably an understatement. So there you go. You got U.S. stocks, T-bonds, U.S. dollar. We're mostly interested in how we can make some money with a 1 to 2 day window. But in terms of the bigger picture, this could have long-term ramifications for the path of the USA. And I think this has already had some influence on the past year or two that I think we're at a major fork in the road for the good old USA here now. If you're not familiar with me, I've been doing this a long time. Back when the dinosaurs roamed the earth there in 1972, right out of college, I had bought a membership on the then fledgling Chicago Board Options Exchange. And for 12 years, I was a member and market maker there and studied everything I could get my hands on. Mr. Gann, Mr. Elliott Wave, astrophysics, astrology, music cycles, Fibonacci, you name it, I probably took a look at it. Okay, so you can get a free class. I'll go through these notes again with you and go into more depth with you and be happy to help you. I'm in sunny Naples, Florida, 239-594-3939. You can email me, Winski at embark with a Q, mail.com, or you can call me at _1. Looking forward to helping some of your folks, Jeff. Everybody have a great 3-day weekend. We're closed Monday. Have a great 3 weekend, so that means I got extra time to help you folks. Okay, thanks a lot.
That is gold. I mean, you called for a major change in trend after yesterday. I know it's being published after the fact, but I know for a fact you do all these things well ahead of time. You just had the internet issue. You're calling for a major change in trend after today and another one after the weekend. So this could be Whipsaw City if you're not really careful.
Exactly.
So that is
And by the
gold.
way, we might want to remind these folks, all this information is all empirical, objective. I can't make it up. I can't change it. You can Google some of this stuff and you'll see that, it is what it is. It's all facts.
Well, that is really important stuff. I am so grateful to you and to the guy who invented the internet, Tim Berners-Lee, because
Okay.
otherwise he wouldn't have all this information.
Well,
Norm,
thank you.
that's terrific. We'll see you when the moon is in the seventh house or whatever it is. Whenever it's a full moon or a new moon or whatever the moon does, we'll see you again. Okay?
All right. Thanks a lot, Jeff.
Okay, bye.